Hello, everyone. How's it going? It's Leah here, and I am happy to be doing another beauty and wellness video for you. I used to call them Easy Beauty and Wellness with Leah Patterson, and I like that. So we're going to keep that for right now. The question that someone posed to me the other day was, how do you make time for yourself without feeling guilty? And so this is something that I'm doing now with the wellness videos. I'm going to do them in response to actual questions that people ask so that I make sure that I'm actually doing videos that are relevant, that, matter to what's going on in your life. So this person asked, how can you be sure, or how can you make time for yourself without feeling guilty? And I had to really think about that one because it's so important, especially for, and I work primarily with women, but especially for women who have like really full, busy lives, like we all do. And especially if you have a lot of people that are pulling on you for, your input in their life. If you have kids, if you have a spouse, if you have a boyfriend, you have coworkers, right? It's really difficult to kind of make that space for yourself, but then also not feel guilty about it, right? So we hear all this stuff about like, you gotta have self-care, you gotta have self-love, you gotta make time for yourself. But how do you do that and not feel guilty? So that's a really great question. And Tasha was the one that asked it. So thank you, Tasha. This is in response to your question. So it's really interesting because this week I felt compelled to write about a little bit more about my own suicide story, my suicide attempt story, and how it was related to my dance life and how it really came out of this striving, and putting all of my self-worth and goals and everything into one basket, and that basket like really leaving me leaving me bereft, leaving me out to dry. And I talked about how now my sense of happiness doesn't come in the big things that I'm hoping to achieve. It really comes in the small things that I actually get the opportunity to do. And so in terms of making time for yourself and figuring out or finding ways to not feel guilty about it, that is going to be the key of what I talk about today. And really quick, because I like to keep these videos really short. So when you think about what brings you happiness and what brings you like consistent, can be counted on all the time happiness or joy, whichever one you want to call it. I call it joy when I really think about it because it's just like a wellspring. It just comes up from from like my solar plexus, and it just fills up my entire self, or even lower than that, like in my root chakra, it just fills me up, right? So so when I think of joy, I think of that wellspring, right? That just fills up my entire self. So when you think about that, think about the simple things that you have control over, that you can consistently do, that will bring you joy. And when I thought about the ones for myself, I thought about things like 30 minutes of reading, making time to make a cup of coffee, making time to sit outside with my fur babies, dance practice just for myself, doing something for my mom, allowing myself to make the time to do something for a family member, inviting a friend over for lunch, like those little things that are small things that oftentimes we think are, us being frivolous, or us like, wasting time, and you don't have any time for it. But when you think about it, those things automatically bring you joy. They automatically raise your vibration. They automatically make you feel like a ton better, right? And how much easier is it to do stuff in the rest of your life when you feel a ton better, when you feel like, I feel good, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to jump on this next thing. I mean, like, how much easier is it to do that when you're feeling like that? And what is a consistent way that you can get yourself to feel like that? Oftentimes, it's these little tiny things that we never allow ourselves to make time for. And I have found in my life that allowing myself to make time for those things that is actually the way that I am able to do the rest of the stuff in my life, that I'm able to keep striving and thriving in life, right? Because it's not because I reached these big accolades, because a lot of the big accolades that I'm searching, that I'm striving for, that I've been, trying to attain, I'm still trying to attain them. I'm still trying to go after them. So if I based, my happiness on those things, or, you know, based how I was spending my time on the attainment of those things and like striving towards those things, one, I would never actually get to experience happiness because it would always be out in the future. And two, I would be in this constant state of waiting and it being like up in the air and outside of my control. And then also, like, I would never be making time for myself, right? Because for me, for other people, it's like the people in their lives. For me, it's the striving for my goals. So it's that same thing of where you're using something outside of yourself as your meter of how much time you spend, or how you spend your time in your life, of how you divvy up the time in your life. So think about it that way. That's the reframe. The reframe is, let me think about the things that bring me consistent, all the time joy, can be counted on every single time. Make out that list for yourself. Oftentimes it's little stuff that's stuff for you, right? And when you think about past that, when you have that consistent all the time, like can be counted on every single time joy, think about how much easier it makes to do other things in your life when you're in kind of this joyous, happy, just high vibe state, right? Knowing that these things get you there is what will allow you to feel better about making time for those things. And that will allow you to kind of pull yourself out of like the guilty phase that you can fall into when you are spending time doing those things. So reminding yourself that, wait a minute, these are the ways that I can do the rest of this stuff. So I need to incorporate some of this in my life so that I can get that consistent, can be counted on every single time joy, so that I have so much more in my cup to now give to the rest of my life, right? So I hope that's helpful. I hope that little tiny tip makes a difference for you. It's a full moon today. So if you're watching this today on the day that I post it, it's a full moon in Taurus. It's all about our security, our tangibility, you know, and working hard to like have the physical things in our life, and not just the physical things, but it's also, like I said, the security, the senses of security that we want in our life. Like what's working for it, what's not. If you're into astrology and intuitive understanding of things in any kind of way, be sure you check out my tarot reading channel, which is Tarot by Leah, and it's woo-woo biz advice. So I really focus on business advice for my fellow entrepreneurs over there, but you can definitely check it out even just for life advice. It will apply most definitely. I have a reading there posted about the full moon and about using this energy of the full moon, which is today. So be sure you check that out. If you are looking for support, and I call it an audacious living, and like living audaciously expecting your life to be the best it can be and to continue to keep going even when it's difficult, you can join my Facebook group, which is Dancing on the Ashes, because I'm a dancer. So it's all about like taking that crap, throwing it in the fire, dancing on those ashes, and being the phoenix and rising from it, right? With some joy and some happiness and some like, psh, it's not even that big of a deal. I'm rising. So a lot of that, right? So you can join the Facebook group. If you just go to Facebook and search Dancing on the Ashes, you will find that. You can always check me out at my website, leahpatterson.com. It's tons of information there. Basically what I do is I help women choose the life that they want to have, especially women that have been dealing with depression and anxiety. And I help you approach it from a natural way, like from a holistic, natural, wellness-focused way. And that can incorporate many different things. I've got lots of different tools in my tool kit. So check me out, reach out to me. I will catch you next week because I'm going to be doing these weekly. So next week I'll be doing another wellness, beauty and wellness video. If you would like me to approach or to talk about a certain topic, please let me know in the comments, or I post it on my Facebook page and ask for feedback. So let me know in any kind of way, or you can always email me as well. Thank you so much. I'll catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.